This is Greenland, a beautiful place full of diversity from the fauna that is present to the resilient and amazing species of flora. This ecosystem has many features from its geology, rivers, lakes, and famous glaciers. In July of 2017, our research group was a part of a program called JSEP, the Joint Science Education Project. The goal of this program is to teach high school students about polar science and how to conduct research in the Arctic. As part of this innovative and inspiring program, we were able to conduct some amazing research and learn many things about Kangerlussuaq.
When our research group began to think of Kangar, it was not what was above and around us that piqued our interest, but rather what was beneath us, the soil. Soil at first glance is admittedly very boring, although the beauty of this complex biological substance is not within its appearance, but understanding how it affects the world. Soil is the upper layer of the earth in which plants grow. It is usually black or dark brown and consists of a mixture of organic matter, minerals, and rock particles. The most prominent feature of Kangar above ground is Russell Glacier, which once extended nearly 10 kilometers from its current position 7,000 years ago. From this, our research question was born.
The soil found in Kangerlussuaq that we were interested in studying was formed through primary succession as the Russell Glacier retreated over the last 7,000 years. As the glacier slowly retreated, soil began to form. This means that throughout Kangerlussuaq, the soil are variety of ages. What we were interested in exploring was the effects of the age of the soil on soil properties, both physical and biological. To help examine these properties, we examined a plant, the Calyx glauca or the northern willow. This shrub is a crucial and dominant piece of vegetation in the ecosystem, as it is found in most places in Kangerlussuaq. We hypothesized that older soil would have more willow growth, biomass, gravimetric moisture, and a higher carbon and organic content in the soil. We also wanted to measure CO2 influx, but our plans changed when this happened.
To collect our data, we went out in the field to 4 different sites, each with a different distance to the glacier. At each site, we collected biomass data by cutting down a square meter of willow bush. We also sampled 2 soil cores at each site, which we used to determine the amount of carbon in the soil, as well as the permeability. Upon that, we also found plant height, soil temperature and moisture, and depth of the permafrost. In order to collect the rest of the data, including the percentage of organic matter and carbon content, samples of the soil core from each site were homogenized and burned. Then, using the other soil core, an experiment was set up to measure the permeability. Once all the data was collected and processed, we used it to answer our overall question: how does the age of soil affect soil properties, physical and biological, both above and below ground?
When examining the biological properties including the willow height, biomass, organic matter, and carbon content, and the physical properties, permafrost depth, gravimetric moisture, and soil permeability, graphically multiple things were discovered. We did not see a difference in biomass between the sites, but we did see a difference in height. This could be because the willows grow lower and denser near the glacier because of the harsher climate. When looking at the other biological properties, including organic matter and carbon content, the older sites appear to have a higher percentage of both these factors. Through evaluating the results for the physical factors, we found that the older site had a shallower depth of permafrost, higher gravimetric moisture, and soil permeability.
We also discovered things that were not originally included in our hypothesis, such as the correlation between biomass and gravimetric moisture. Through graphing and running a linear regression analysis, we found that there is a strong positive correlation between a higher amount of biomass and a higher amount of gravimetric moisture. This is an extremely interesting result despite the fact that it contradicts our hypothesis, as it gives a great picture of what is happening within the soil.
Overall, our conclusion is that the age does affect the overall properties of the soil in this area. We found that in this area, sites that are older and further away from the glacier have a higher carbon content, slightly different soil profiles, the permafrost is closer to the surface, and the shrubs are able to grow taller. Although our hypothesis stated that the older soils would have more willow growth, biomass, gravimetric moisture, and a higher carbon and organic content in the soil was partly rejected, an enormous amount of knowledge about the area was gained. All the data truly illustrate the amazing impact the past presence of glaciers had on the soils.